Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. And welcome to the first episode of the How to Heal series that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the different add-ons, UI, macros, and keybinds that you'll need to start off with a basic healer. All of the healers will include this type of template, and I would advise checking this first just to make sure that you have the basics and you're ready to go when we get on to your specific healer. First off, we're going to have a checklist of things that you're going to need and you're going to use whilst healing. First off are add-ons, which will be posted here on a checklist that you'll have to make sure you have before we get started. The first thing is LVUI. Now this changes your UI, obviously with the word UI in, and that's the thing that we're going to be focusing on today in this video. The second thing is an add-on called Healbot. Now, I personally use Healbot, but there are other versions of Healbot that you can get out there. I'll be showing Healbot as that is what I use. The next thing that we're moving on to is Weakauras. This is a must-have when it comes to healing. There is no other thing that could replace it, and if you want to be efficient, this is what you should be using. Details is another add-on that we'll be using, which just shows how much you're healing. It'll also be useful for people if you're DPSing too. If you've got any questions about anything that I talk about today, remember in the comments below, just ask, and I'll get back to answering you as fast as possible. The links to all the files that I mentioned will be in the description below, so make sure to check them out too. And without any further ado, let's get started. The UI is the most important part of healing. You've got to be comfortable with what you're looking at. What I've done here is I've switched off all my add-ons just to show you what WoW gives you as a basis of your UI. Now, a lot of people, I'd say a lot of pro players actually, use WoW's UI to a certain point. They have things moved around, but the standard one is quite there. If you're starting healing, I would personally change your UI completely. And obviously I've talked about the add-ons already. I use something called LVUI. Now the problem with LVUI is it's very confusing, and I'll show you why when we get into it, because there are lots of different components, there are lots of different settings, and if you're probably here because you want a quick fix, you want something really simple that you can use that's already been made. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't use my own UI. At the very beginning, when I started WoW again and I started using LVUI, I tried to create my own and it was okay. It was something that I got used to, but it wasn't what I'd call efficient. And I'm going to keep saying that word throughout this video is efficient because that's what you need to be when you're healing. So what I did is I went online and I looked around for other people's UIs that I could kind of take the template and work around myself. Now that's what I would suggest you to do. Take the template and work around yourself. So the UI that I used was off a YouTuber called Preach Gaming, and obviously you must have heard of him before. And what I'm going to do is I will leave a link in the description of the Dropbox file that you'll need to complete. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit the game like I have here, and you're on my beautiful desktop here. We're going to open up our World of Warcraft file, which is normally located either in your SSD or your C drive. It's in my D drive. We're going to go to interface and WTF. What we're going to do is save those, because if you mess any of this up, you'll need to go back to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save these into maybe a different drive or a USB, just to make sure if I do mess it up, we can use the ones that we originally have. What you're then going to do is you're going to go and click on the link down in the description below to the Dropbox file and download these two files, interface and WTF. So what we're going to do next is once we've downloaded these two files, we're going to delete these two files here, which are already in our World of Warcraft account, which that isn't my World of Warcraft account. They're the ones I backed up. I was about to delete those. So we're going to delete these ones here. We're going to delete interface, which should take a minute because there are lots and lots and lots of different add-ons in there. We're also going to delete the WTF folder, which should be quickly. And that's it. What we're then going to do is open World of Warcraft. Now, when we open it, it is going to be like we've started the game again with our UI. Brand new opening. We're going to get the cutscene. We're going to get... you would have got music, but I turned it off. I can hear the music. what we're going to do is, once this loads, we're going to log in to our character. And what we should see is, like we've brand new character as such, with a boost or whatever. It will be where you last left it, but the UI will be normal. If you go into add-ons, there'll be nothing there. Well, there is no add-ons folder because I don't have any add-ons. Then what we're going to do is just log out. Just log out. And the reason why we've done that is because now if we go in, we have interface and WTF again. What we're going to do is we're then going to copy and paste these two folders that we got through the download, which you should have got, and we're just going to paste them here. Now, this will take a little bit of time because there's a lot of data in those files getting transferred. So I'm going to quickly skip this, I think. Once these are nearly downloaded, you should see that there are 3 files with the same name. We're just going to quickly replace those and it will be done. The next step, what we need to do is go into WTF. We need to then go to account, and you see here there is a number. Now that is your character. This is where it gets a little bit confusing. I'm not going to explain what it means. I'm just going to explain to you what to do. So what you need to do is you need to click this once, right click, rename, Control C, which is copy, then exit this. We're then going to delete this folder, and this one we're going to rename to that. So rename, Control V, which is paste, and press enter, and that's saved. We're then going to go into here, and realm name, we're going to change to whatever our realm is. So my realm is obviously Dunmore, and that's it. That is literally it. We're done. So we're going to close this file. We're going to open up World of Warcraft again, and that's it. When it comes to UI in a base, we're going to log in, which should take a little bit longer here. Now, these add-ons are going to be out of date. They will be. It will tell me that they are. We're going to load them anyway. Okay. We're going to go to add-ons here, and we're going to unclick everything. So disable all, and all we're going to click on is LVUI, add-on skins, Weakauras, and simulation paths, and obviously Weakaura templates, everything Weakaura. And that is it, because in a moment we're going to get rid of all of these other add-ons. You may think that this is a long process, but it's the easiest process I can think of. We're going to then enter the world, and what should happen is all of our UI should be changed, and it's going to look very different. Now, as you can see, there is a slight change here. What we're going to do is just click continue. Really just continue, forget all the settings, just click continue, and when it loads, this is it. We're going to disable this and hide, and that is it. That is literally it when it comes to UI. Well, to a point. We're then going to exit the game, and what we're going to do is we're going to download the new versions of the add-ons. So the first one we're going to download is LVUI. You're going to go to this website here, which again, it will be linked in the description below. You're going to click download. Now, I think I already have it downloaded if I remember correctly, if I go into downloads. Yes, I do. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click this. You should have WinRAR installed. If not, you can extract it in a different way. We're going to go to data, or our my D drive, World of Warcraft, retail, interface, add-ons, okay. And we're going to say confirm yes to all. That's just replacing all of the files, but with the updated version. We're then going to open World of Warcraft. With the new LVUI update, we're going to go into the character that you want to play. So my shaman, which is my main, and oh no, it looks the same, but don't worry. What we're going to do is we're going to open this, we're going to go to LVUI, we're going to go to profiles, we're then going to copy from, and you see here it has lots and lots of different profiles. What I'm going to do is we're going to go to healer BFA, and that is it. That is literally it. Your UI is done. If you want your UI to be basic, this is what I would do. But then you're going to say to me, but Moo, there's no bars. Yes, there are. There are bars up here. Okay, so the reason we have bars up here is so here is clear. Okay, so it's all about where your eyes want to be on the screen. So if you've never used LVUI before, what you can do is go into LVUI. You've got lots and lots of different settings. Now, going through LVUI is a challenging thing to do because there are lots of things that you can change and lots of things that can go wrong. So what I do is, before doing any of this, remember how we backed up our add-ons before? Do that again. So what you can do to change things is, for example, action bars. Your bars are actually mouse overing at the moment. So you see how it's just a mouse over macro. That means it's hidden when you're not mousing over it. Again, there's a bar here as well. And like I say, the reason why that is because you don't want your eyes moving up here. And the reason why I have them on mouse over is because you should remember your keybinds. And we'll get onto keybinds in a little while. Keybinds are really, really important. And it's something that you'll have to set up with macros as well. But what that does mean is I can still heal, even without Healbot, which again, we'll get onto other add-ons in a second. I can heal myself if I press my keybinds. I can use different abilities, and they're still there. So now you're wondering, well, how do we see what abilities are on cooldown? So there is another way that we can do this, which is if you go into combat. So if you're on the Horde side, just easy, really, really easy place to go and test is go down to here. The fish can't really deal any damage to you. And you see, now we've come into combat, you see this here. Now I have made a video before about what this is. This is a weak aura. So what it does is it tells you what is going on without having your bars around. So when you use abilities, it will either tell you that they're active or that they're on cooldown. And what it means is keeping your eyes central here. So you're not looking up here for your abilities, looking down here at your raid frames, looking up here at the boss. Everything, the thing you're attacking, your character, and what your abilities are on cooldown are here. Everybody thinks, oh, Weakauras, they must be really hard to sort out and to learn. Really easy. All you're going to do is press enter, then do /WA, and all the Weakauras are there for you. Whether you're playing a healer, whether you're playing DPS, whether you're playing a tank, whatever class, because we've copied them folders, all of the Weakauras are already here. Now, I'm not going to go into a massive video on how to edit Weakauras, because there they are basically for you, and this is what you need for the basics. Now, I can go into a Weakauras video a little bit later on, but this is all you need to know, really. If you play a Resto Shaman, it will automatically load the Resto Shaman Weakauras. If I was to change here, so if I close this and I go to Enhancement, when it decides to load, and press WA, I've then reloaded all the Element or Enhancement Weakauras. So this is really, really good if you don't really know what to do with Weakauras, because you don't have any knowledge in it. This is for the basics, and this is really, really useful. And that's really your UI sorted out. I mean, there's different settings that you can go into. So you've got toggle anchors. Now, this is what I mean by it gets a little bit confusing, because every single thing that will ever load is on here. So your cast bar you can move, your chat you could move, the bars, let's say that bar's a little bit too high, you can move it there, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you guys have to make this part yourself. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to my UI and just show you, which you guys have probably seen before, but just show you what mine looks like and why it's that way. So, after some tinkering, I came up with this. Now, this is my UI that I use on a daily basis. This has the other add-ons that I mentioned on as well, but I'm going to quickly finish off with LVUI. Now, if you want my exact UI as a basis or as a template, I will leave another link in the description below. Yes, I know there's lots of links, but if you want the help, you might have to download them. This will be a notepad file with the profile that I have for all of my healers. What we're going to do is, if you download that, it will be a notepad file just full of lots and lots of code. You'll want to copy the text. You'll then want to go to LVUI. You'll then want to go to Profiles, Import, and just copy and paste all of that text. Now, it isn't that text I just put in, but it will copy and paste all that text, import now, and this will appear on your page. And that's it. That's LVUI done. Now, my LVUI is practically the same as it was before. There are a little bit differences. Like, I have this bar here. Now I put my utility spells down here normally. I then have the healing spells up here. And I have an extra bar here for things I know I shouldn't click, but things that I want to click, I can click there. Now for the shaman, I have an extra box here for when I can see the procs so when I can see high tide procs, but that's a whole different thing again. The way that I've done my UI is when I'm actually fighting something, all of my attention is down here. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to this little box here, which is a separate box from UI, and this is Healbot. But just remember, all of your attention wants to be in this part of the screen, especially when you're raiding. So let's move on to Healbot. Healbot is actually pretty easy because you'll download Healbot. You'll see a box a little bit like this, but yours will be different. Now, Healbot is very difficult to use or to configure. To open Healbot, you'll just do /HB. That will open the Healbot box, which you can move around if you want to. You'll go down to import. Again, just like the LVUI, if you want to import my template, you want to import my template for Healbot. And the reason why you want to do that is because Healbot is much, much harder to configure than LVUI. Once you've downloaded and you've put everything into the Healbot, you'll then, depending on what character you're playing, you'll want to go to spells. Now what Healbot does is it takes out some of the mouse over macro problems. So with Healbot, for an example, I have set my left click to be Healing Wave. So when I click Healing Wave, you can see it heals me. Now, if I click anywhere else, it won't heal. When there's lots and lots of people, this will fill up just like a normal raid frame. And I normally, let's move this up here. We'll put this down here. And I normally have this here so that all boxes out like this. So that means I can left click and I can use Healing Wave. I then have Shift left click. So if I press Shift and left click, it changes it to Chain Heal. And what you can do to change these is just click here, spell select, and it will normally have all of your spells. If for whatever reason it doesn't have your spells, open your spellbook, move this over here, find whatever spell you want, you'll be here, you'll click this, and you'll type it in. Now, I'm not going to because all mine are there. I then have my cooldowns on control keys, personally, because it means my hand is moving along. And when I come to the shaman and other classes, I'll show you why I put certain spells in certain keybinds. And it's all about feeling comfortable, and that's comfortable for me. The one thing that you will have to change is debuffs. So if you go to the debuffs here, all you need to do is change these to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that's really important to do, because if you don't do that, when you start playing, you will not see debuffs on your Healbot. And if you don't see buffs on your Healbot, you will not know how to dispel them. So my dispel, for example, is Shift right click, and it allows me to dispel. Again, we'll move on to I'll go into more detail about what spells I have keybind to what keys, because again, there's lots to go through and all classes are different. I also have an add-on of details, which is down here. Now I can move details, which is a separate add-on. And what this does is it just keeps track. It just keeps track. And many of you may already know about this, but this just keeps track of how much healing you're doing. You can go through or overhealing. Now, if you're at the top of overhealing and you're at the bottom of healing done, that may be a problem, which again I'll get onto when we do another video on the other healers. And that's pretty much it. You have your UI set up, you have your Healbot set up, and this is all you need to start healing practically. The next couple of videos will be on the actual specifics when it comes to healing classes, but your UI sorted, you've got your bags, you've got your map. That's pretty much it. You also have your Weakauras set up, which once again, what I'll do is just to show you the kind of full package. We'll go down to these fish. Like I say, if you're on the Horde side, this is a great place to practice. And you'll see that all of my keybinds are set up here. Now, your mouse over macros will work on Healbot as well. So, like I said, when I move on to the next healers and go into specifics, the mouse over macros that we'll be doing and how we do basic mouse over macros should work on the Healbot as well. Now, I hope this video wasn't too long, but hopefully it is informative. I've tried to put as much information as I can into a small video, as lots of people don't like the longer videos. If you have any questions, obviously, let me know in the comments below and I will try to answer them. Now, if you are following the series, I would try and do all these steps before going to watch another video, because this will help you stay on track with what I'm doing when it comes to different healers. Now, I think I'm looking to do the Shaman first as my main, and it is the most simple. So I'll be going through talents, builds, keybinds, different potions, different enchants, things like that, and the Azurite armors when I come to make the video. So once again, thank you very much for joining me. And like I said, if you've got any questions, please leave comments below. And if you want to see your healing class or something that you're looking to do in the next video, let me know which one you want me to do first. And remember to hit that subscribe button to see it when I upload it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.